All right, welcome. So we'll start with breathing. Start with breathing. In general, the goal for yogic breathing is longer and slower, so that we're taking less breaths per minute. We're elongating the amount of breath and the amount of air that comes in. It's over a longer period of time. There's lots of health benefits for this. But from a yogic perspective, the main thing is that we're trying to slow down the pace of our mind. One sage, Ramana Maharshi, says that the the mind is like a parrot. Mind's like a parrot. You all probably can relate to that. It just talks, right? Just talks in our head, and uh, and the parrot can be contained by the breath. You can put the parrot in the cage if the breath is regulated. So maybe we can't fully silence the mind, but we can uh, put it in a container so it isn't just driving us. So that way, that allows us to feel more deeply and experience the asanas. Um, That's the most important yogic reason. But there's all kinds of physiological benefits to breathing slower in terms of the way that you're oxygenating your blood and then transporting that oxygen through your blood, health of the muscles, and then relaxing your nervous system allows us to safely practice and deepen our stretches, strengthen um, our muscles, and heal our joints, better joint mobility when our nervous system is calmer. So let's practice breathing longer and slower. You breathe in and out through your nose. And sometimes we practice what we call ujjayi, where you restrict the throat a little bit. And you hear that sound of the ocean in the back of the throat. The only reason we really do that, the number one reason, is to just slow the rate of air. Slow the rate of air in and out. So I recommend you practice today like that. But if not, even if you're going to let the sound go, you're just trying to sip the air. Mhm. If you could think of it like talking, we have our normal indoor voice. We can yell and then we can whisper. Well, you can do the same with your breath. You have your normal breath. You could take a deep, really big breath, or you could whisper with your breath. So practice a breath whisper. Part of helping this deepening of the breath and slowing of the breath is to breathe deeper into our lungs. So you're going to take the back of your hand, you're going to put it on your mid back, right where the ribs turn into the low back, right around the kidney area, right at the base of those ribs. When you breathe, you want to feel that low mid back area sort of expand into your hand. So you're breathing into the low back lungs. Slow breath. In and out through the nose. You can feel that back expanding. You don't need to keep the arm there anymore, unless it's helping you. Low, deep, slow breath through the nose. A couple more. Try to lengthen. You can lengthen the count. Let's try a couple rounds. We'll start with 6 seconds, go up to 8, then go up to 10 if that's possible for you. I'll start. Inhaling, 1, 4, exhale, 4. Inhale, exhaling 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 6, Exhaling 6. Inhaling 6. Exhaling 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 8. Exhaling 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 10. You could stay with 8. Exhaling 10. Inhaling 10. Exhaling 10. One more round. Inhaling 10. Exhaling 10. Return to normal breathing. And move your rib cage back and forward 3 or 4 times. Move the rib cage back and forward. Keep a low tension, relaxed frame, back and forth. Good. Turn, twist your spine to the right. Turn, twist your spine to the left. Turn and twist right. Turn and twist left. Good. Just tilt your head over to the right. Let your left shoulder be heavy. Tip your head over to the left. Let your right shoulder be heavy. One more time over to the right. Keep your left shoulder heavy. One more time over to the left. Back to center. Good. Let's come to tabletop, hands and knees posture. Move the spine up and down, a little bit of forward and back. Keep breathing, long and slow. So your movement is long and slow. More rounds, long, slow breath. Moving the spine up and down, forward, back. Sit the hips all the way back. And walk your left arm under the right. Come back, Walk your right arm under the left. Long, slow breath. Down, regulate your nervous system. Just be in the shapes. Good. Lie on your belly, legs outstretched. Rest your forehead on the mat. Practice keeping the neck nice and long. And breathe into that mid-back, the base of the ribs. Good. Push with your hands. Lift your spine. Baby cobra. Keep your legs relaxed. And come back down onto your forehead. Inhale, lift your ribs. Lift your crown. Stretch your right arm straight out in front. And then pull your left leg back and across. So you're stacking your hips. You can put the foot on the ground and lift that knee up. So you're getting an inner thigh stretch. Close that down. Roll back. You're going to slide your left hand out. Roll your right leg back and up. You can put the foot down to open the knee. Back to center. Place your hands down and push up and back. Child's pose again. Open your back in your child's pose. Good. Walk a little over to your right edge and then step the left foot off the left edge of your mat. Just breathe here and sit into that hip some. Let's change legs. Let's going to walk over to the left edge, but step the foot off the right edge. Just open that hip. Keep the hands on the mat still. This nice slow hip opener. Put a little more weight into that right foot to open the hip a little deeper. Good. Coming back to center. Walk your hands to the front edge of your mat and hold the front edge of your mat. Back your knees up and then pull your hips over your knees. So you're having to stretch your yoga mat. Good. So make sure you keep your head up. You're looking at your thumb to keep your head up. Other folks, you're going to be able to sink your chest down. Sink your chest down. You can even sink the head down if you wanted to. So we're stretching the shoulder. It's like you're hollowing out and lengthening the armpit. Just what everyone wants. Hollowed out, lengthened armpits. Breathe long and slow. Good, and walk it back. Like we started, walk over to the right edge and step the left foot forward. You can walk the foot even further forward. It's on The edge though, so we still have an open stance. Put your weight down through your left foot. Feel how it opens the hip. Good, change sides. Walk the foot a little further forward this time. Just rock your hips to put weight down into that right foot. Back to center. From tabletop pose, you're going to push your left knee straight forward. It's like a pigeon, but you're only going to bring your left foot a little bit across. You're not in a full pigeon. So you really feel it on the outer left hip. Good. Now walk your right knee back. Try to keep your knees in a straight line. Really want to feel it in the back, outer left hip. It's narrow. It's a very, very narrow pigeon. That's what you're thinking. Good. If you can, you're going to reach for that front edge of your mat and try to stretch the mat forward away from your knees. This will strengthen your shoulder. Good. Now melt your throat, melt your ribs through the shoulder blades. Excellent. Keeping the shoulders and arms nice and steady. The further away the mat edge, obviously the harder this gets. Great job. All right, let's change our legs back to tabletop. Push the right knee forward and just take the foot across a little. Walk the back knee straight back. We want a very narrow pigeon pose. So you really feel it in that back glute area. You want to take the pose deeper, you're going to hold the front mat edge and try to stretch it forward. So your arms and shoulders get really strong and you melt your ribs and head down through the shoulder blades. Long, slow breath. Good. Back to tabletop. Let's do our downward facing dog pose. Focus on stretching the calf and the hamstring. And lift your belly muscles into your low back. Then puff the shoulders and push down through your hands to elongate the pose. Walk the hands back and step your feet wide so you're in a squat pose. Long, slow breath into the base ribs in the back. Inhale, come up. Use your legs to push down all the way up to standing. Good. Stretch your arms up into the sky. Press down through the four corners of your foot and flex your wrist so it's like you're holding up the ceiling. Holding up the ceiling. Now draw the fingers back across the imaginary ceiling so it pulls your shoulders open. Can you feel how the belly wants to protrude forward and you want to arch your back? Good, correction. That's it. Keep the belly muscles back to stabilize your spine. So the shoulder is what has to open. Good. Place your hands on your thighs and slide the hands down the legs any amount. Pull the belly muscles in. Inhale, come back up. Same exercise. Stretch your arms up to the sky. Flex the wrists so you're holding up an imaginary ceiling. Keep your belly muscles in. Don't hinge your back. And draw the fingers back so it pulls the shoulder back instead of arching your spine. Good work. Keep breathing here, holding. Good. Hands down the legs, any amount for forward bend. Keep the belly muscles drawing back. Find your blocks if you have them and put your hands on the blocks. Center your left foot and just swing your right foot high up into the sky, standing splits, pushing down through your left foot. You can bow your head. Good, lower that leg down and switch sides. Push down through the right foot, the four corners. Lower the leg down. Go ahead, lift the right leg up once more. Carefully, you're gonna bend your standing leg and drop back into warrior one stance. Come all the way up. Good, relax your bones. Let your joints sink into the warrior one. Same thing we just worked on. Belly muscles back. Flex the palms, or flex the wrists so the palms point up. Without arching the back, draw the fingers back to open your shoulder. Beautiful. Reach back down to those blocks and lift the back leg up again. Keep your belly muscles in and up. And then switch legs. Lift your left leg high into the sky. Bend the right. And drop back, warrior one. Push down. Try to relax your bones, your leg bones, into the shape of the posture. Belly muscles in. Keep them in. Tone the wrists and draw the fingers back so we don't arch. You might lean back, but it's coming from your hips, from that shoulder action, pulling the whole torso upright, not arching. Slow breath. And exhale. Place your hands on the blocks. Lift that leg back up. And come down. Straighten the legs a little more in your forward bend. And swoop the arms all the way up. Reverse swan dive. Hands to your heart. Good. Good. Balancing or briefly going over to the wall to see if you can use the wall. If you need it, you're gonna bring up and hold the knee in both hands though, if you don't need the wall. If you do need the wall, you're gonna keep the, with the left leg up, you'll have your right hand on the wall so that it's the same side. And today, because we're actually gonna get a shoulder stretch out of this, if you can balance, you can push your knee, really give your whole leg weight to your hands. And this will stretch the top back of the shoulder. So my arms are like suspension wires. No bending in the elbow there, Jim. Arm straight. Yeah, really let the arm hang. Just use the grip of your hands to stretch the shoulder. Good. Breathe. Concentrate on your balance. If you're using the wall, maybe move to a finger or lightly taking the finger off the wall for a few moments. Okay, we're gonna step back into a low lunge. So you're gonna bend your standing leg and step back. And then you come to low lunge, you'll drop your knee to the ground. Good. If you need to go back to your mat for support for that knee, go right ahead. Push your hips into the front foot and start to arch your spine forward, looking up. Good. The front knee's bending forward, the right knee. Yeah. Not past the toe, though. Maybe just over the toe. Good work. Turn and look over your right shoulder. Breathe low in your back. Turn and look over your left shoulder. Breathe low in your back. Good. Rock back and step out of your posture. Inhale, come up. Hands to your heart. So use the other side of the wall if you're going to use the wall so that your right hand can hold the right knee or both hands can hold the right knee. Remember, we want to be passive in the arm, strong in the fingertips because they're holding the knee, but passive in the arm. And you can even let just the weight of the right leg or even push with your right leg to draw that outer shoulder into a stretch. Breathe here. Stay with it. Breathe low. Good work. Good balancing. We're going to bend our knee and step the other leg back, dropping down to our low lunge. Shift the weight from the pelvis into the front foot. Just be mindful of the amount of pressure in that front knee. If you're listening to your body, you'll be fine. And start to slowly melt, arch the spine into the pose, the crescent shape of the pose. Good. Push yourself back now and come onto your forearms, but you'll make a triangle with your forearms. So you'll push your palms together and your forearms will be in a triangle. Position your elbows under your shoulders. And what you're going to do is you're going to push down with your forearms and your knees. When you do that, can you feel how your low back and your mid back rises? Squeeze your belly muscles in to keep that feeling. And then walk the knees back a little further. Keep pushing down. Keep the low back and mid back up. And walk the knees back a little further. If you can, keep your shoulders over your elbows. Can you still breathe long and slow, deep into the low body? Concentrate on using as little breath as necessary. Drop your pelvis into the floor and then relax your spine into a sphinx, lifting up through your crown. You're holding that core work until the pelvis makes it all the way to the floor. When you're in Sphinx, you're going to push your elbows down and forward and float up through your crown. Breathe long and slow. Let's try another round. Bring the palms back together and walk the knees forward again. Push the forearms and knees down to lift your low back and mid back up. Support that with your belly muscles. And then start to walk the knees a little further back. Keep that fullness in your low back and walk the knees back again. Breathe here. Slow. A whispered breath. Good. Drop your pelvis into the floor. When it reaches the floor, relax the core. Sphinx pose. Breathe. Learn to control the parrot-like mind by making your breath equanimous. Last round, palms together, knees forward. Push down to fill the back in. Stabilize your core and back your knees up. Keep it as you breathe. Lower the hips down. And you can do Sphinx, or this time you can rest your forehead on the ground, a little more passive. Stretch your right arm out like an airplane. And roll your left hip on top of your right hip. So you're opening that right shoulder, turning away from your right arm. Breathe. So it feels like your right shoulder can elongate in the front. Come back to center. Stretch your left arm out like an airplane and roll your right hip on top. Breathe. Opening the front of the left shoulder. Try to reach or walk your fingers further away. Come back. And push back to child's pose again. Rock up onto your feet and rock up to standing pose. Turn your palms to face front. Pull your belly muscles in. And just like we did with the thumbs earlier, you're gonna wing your fingers back and draw them back without letting the back arch. Keep the belly muscles back. Good. Keep stretching those fingers back. Bend your knees. Push your hips down through the bones. And swoop the hands forward and up. Belly muscles in. Extend your elbow joints. Breathe here. Slow. Come back up, mountain pose. Turn your palms to face front. Flex the wrists so the palms point down. I should think extend the wrist is the proper way to say it, but the palms point down. Follow the fingers back. Keep the core in. You should feel those upper arm and shoulder muscles really toning in the back. Lifting the arms further back and higher. Don't let the ribs pop forward. Belly muscles a little more in. Even the top ribs, the top abs, to keep the lower ribs in. Looks good. 2 more breaths. Good. Gently push down. Push your tail down through your thigh bones. Swoop the arms forward. Down through your knees, shins, ankles, feet, chair pose. Extend your elbows. Breathe here. Inhale back up. Last round. Palms face front. Flex so the palms point down and draw back, feeling the back arms, upper shoulder, toning. Core in, folks. Kathy, you gotta bring those base ribs down a little bit. Yeah, let the base ribs drop down to kind of integrate that. Yeah, that's it, the upper core. Keep that the whole time. Slowly Bend the knees, pushing down as you swoop the hands, chair pose. Upper ribs stay engaged. Good. Open your wings and step your right foot back. Legs are straight to start. Nice wide stance. Push through the four corners of your feet and then sink your bones. Sink the front knee toward the pinky toe. Breathe here. Turn your palms, let your arms hang in an A-shaped diagonal. Palms face the wide edge of your mat. More deep breaths. Good. Straighten your front leg and tip into the triangle pose. Focus. Don't touch today. Keep your hands floating. Flex the wrists like the same pose we just did in mountain. And draw both sets of fingertips back behind you. So it's not triangle arms. You're actually doing the same exact arms you just did in mountain pose in your triangle pose. That's it. Keep your core engaged. Pull those belly muscles, those base front ribs, pull them back. So you're getting an oblique engagement here as well, side abs. Bend your front knee and reach your left hand out in front. Inhale, lift your left hand all the way up, reverse warrior. Slide the right hand down your back leg. And then windmill your arms to mountain pose. Okay, so our triangle pose are these arms, the arms we just did. We're not doing normal triangle today. We're doing these arms. Okay. Bend your knees, step your left leg back. Legs are straight, nice long stance today. Bend the front knee. Just let your arms hang by their sides right now. Sinking into the bones. Bones sinking into the pose. Breathing a couple more deep breaths here. Stay with it. Don't give up. Slow your breathing. Even as the body starts to want to move on, slow your breathing. Good. Straighten the legs. Flex the wrists so the palms point down. And you're going to tip into triangle pose. Maybe not as far today, but then instead, pull the fingertips, both sets, equally back behind you. You're going to want to protrude the ribs. Keep the ribs in. Keep the belly muscles in. Floating triangle. Bend the front knee. Reach the right hand forward and keep swooping it all the way up into reverse warrior. Left hand goes down the left leg. Bend and step out of your pose. Good. Open your arms so your palms are just above your head. Even touch your thumbs on your crown if you want. Push your head back to touch your thumbs and open your chest. Good, now try to pull your elbows back. Open the chest more. Pull your belly muscles in and up. Push your tailbone down. Open your chest more. Pull your belly muscles in and up. Push your tailbone down. Pull the head back. Push the head back against the thumbs. And relax. Slide the hands down the legs. Now come up. Go ahead and give yourself a wide-legged stance. Take a moment, just move your hips around in a circle or in the 4 directions. Kind of feel where it's tight. One leg or one direction has more tightness than the others. Good. Stretch your arms out and wrap your left elbow under your right elbow. And squeeze your arms to open the back of your shoulder blades. Pull your belly muscles in. Turn the heels in. And sit down by pushing your knees out. Belly muscles stay in. Inhale, come up. Open your arms back out. Take the right elbow under. Pull your hands together to pull your shoulder blades open in the back. Turn the heels in. Push your knees out. As you push your knees out, keep the belly muscles in and back. So you're going down the back of a wall. Good. Breathe here. Very good. Inhale, back open. Make your feet parallel again and do a wide-legged forward bend. You can put your hands on a coffee table, a wall, or the floor. Do several deep breaths here, releasing the spine. Push down through your hips. You can bend your knees and inhale to come up. Step out of the pose. Bring your knees together and your feet together. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you, keep your feet separate and add a block. Keeping the knees together, you're going to bend and start to sink down. Belly muscles in and back. You can keep your fingertips on the thighs or the knee. Good. When you get as low as you can, just pause there. Now you're going to lift your heels and see if you can safely bend any further. You're not using a block, the knees should still be together, the ankles should still be together. If they opened up, you're going to use a block next time. Push your feet back down and inhale, come up. Good. Same thing, we want to keep our core integrated. Belly muscles back, mid back and low back are full. Legs and ankles, knees and ankles squeezing and bending. As low as they'll go with the feet flat first. Once you hit that edge, you can hover the heel and go any lower. That feels good and integrated with your knees. Inhale, feet flat, and come up. Excellent. Let's go to our wall if you're going to use the wall for balancing. Shift your weight to your right foot. Take the left foot up into a tree, the calf or the thigh. If the left foot's up, it's usually the right hand on the wall. Either way, let's turn our palms to face front today. So if you're using the wall, you're just touching it with your thumb and index in an A shape. Good. Your other hand, you're resting your pinky edge on your knee. Good. Now draw your collarbones back. Excellent. Lift through the back of your skull. Keep drawing the collarbones back. Keep lifting through the back of your skull. And breathe slow. If you're using the wall, you're going to slide your right hand forward. As we transition, you'll bring your knee in front and you'll push the leg back. Both hands move forward. Warrior three. Belly muscles back the whole time. Belly muscles back. Stretch your fingers away from the left toes to keep your core in. Very good. Now pull your arms back to come up. Like you grabbed ropes and you were pulling yourself forward. Excellent. Spin around so the left hand can be on the wall. And the right foot can come up in tree. Palms face forward today. So the left index and thumb is on the wall, if you're using the wall. Good. Draw your collarbones back. Lift the back of your skull up. Keep those actions and breathe slow and soft. Stay with it. Good. You're going to slide the hands forward. You'll slide the left hand forward. Bring the knee in front. And as you slide the hands forward, send the right toe back. The fingertips and the toes go in opposition to each other. Today, your thumb should point up to help keep your shoulders off your ears. Keep reaching. Now grab imaginary ropes and pull to come back up. Good. You gotta bend your elbows like this. When you're pulling yourself up, you pull like this to help bring your body up, to keep your core integrated. Let's do it the whole sequence again, each side. Right foot down, left leg up. So in addition to the collarbones back and the back of the crown up, like we've worked all class, belly muscles move in to fill in your back. Additionally, got the collarbones back, crown up, belly muscles back. You're reaching your fingers down on the diagonal, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. Okay, knee in front, hands go forward, toe goes back, slow. Try to stretch those limbs like this. Easy oppositions. Excellent. Grab your ropes and bend your elbows to pull. Try to really feel that you're pulling yourself up, nice and steady. Good control. Other side, left foot down, right foot up. A-shaped arms. So this tree alignment is helping us stay balanced in our warrior three. Collarbones back, back of the crown up. Belly muscles in, reach down through your thumbs. Feel the stature that is created with those cues and breathe soft. Here we go, knee in front. Hands slide forward, toes slides back as one unit. Good. Grab on to those ropes. Pull. Try to feel the weight of them to bring yourself up. Much better. Much more controlled. Good. Good. Step your feet about as wide as your mat, if not wider. And sink down to your chair. No, sorry. Sink down to your squat. Really low chair. Come down to kneeling. We haven't done this in a while. You're going to keep the knees together and the feet apart. You put a block or blocks between your heels. If you don't need them, you'll just sit your hips to the floor. As we transition to the lower groundwork, let's practice a little bit of pranayama again today, breath work. You can rest your palms in your lap. Close your eyes. Or checking with your hands. Put your hands again at your mid-back, the base ribs, and make sure it's slightly rounded, that your low back is full. So that when you breathe, you can feel an expansion into the back, low rib, the middle back. Once you have that, you can put your hands in your lap. We're going to practice elongating our breath again and making our exhale even longer. So we'll just take an inhale of 4, and then we'll try to exhale for 4. Then in a round, we'll exhale for 6. Maybe even be able to exhale for 8. Maybe you'll even be able to exhale for 10. See what you can do without straining Remember, the breath is just a whisper. So inhale for 4, exhale for 4. Inhale for 4, exhale for 4. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. Inhale for 4, whispered breath. Exhale for 6. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. Inhale for 4, exhale for 8. Inhale for 4, exhale for 8. Inhale 4, exhale 8. Inhale 4. If you want to, try exhale for 10. Inhale 4, exhale 10 or 8. Inhale 4, exhale 10. Try 2 more rounds. Short, brief inhale, long, slow exhale. Your own count or your own pace. Slowly roll and round your spine. Letting your shoulders and head fall forward. Remove any props and sit back onto your sit bones with crossed legs. Go ahead and stretch out your legs. And just drop forward for a moment like a rag doll. Try to stay mellow. Stay in the effects of the extended exhale. Slowly walk your hands back and keep your hips on the ground. Just keep walking your hands back until you feel that stretch in your shoulder. It's kind of similar to what we did when we were standing. Let your head hang forward. Breathe here. Come onto your elbows. And then lower onto your back. Bend both knees up and into your body. Keep your knees and ankles touching and drop them over to your right. Keep the knees and ankles touching and drop them over to your left. And back up to center. Place the bottoms of your feet together and let your knees fall open. Slowly make a snow angel with your arms, keeping the backs of your hands on the floor or on the mat. You got a little space issue, you'll be okay. Just try to make a snow angel really slow. Listen to the shoulder joint as you do it. Listen to the low back as you do it. Keeping the low back down, keeping the shoulder blades free. Palm up if you can. And then place your arms where they feel most comfortable. And slide your legs out. Stretch your body and roll to your side. Take a comfortable seat. Thank you and namaste.